Hey everyone, welcome back to the library. It's time for another Tabletop Tuesday. Normally, we take a look at what's coming up in different tabletop games, but I want to take a step back and pay homage to the games on which our favorite hobbies are founded, many of which are still today widely played. This month, I'm going to focus on tabletop history, starting with board games. Where did they come from? Who played them? And what caused them to spread in popularity? Board games have been around as long as we have. Ancient dice and playing boards have been uncovered in the ruins of the city of Ur, dating back from between 5000 to 3000 BC. There's also evidence of a board game the Romans played called the 12-line game, which is similar to backgammon. In Egypt, a game called Senet was commonly played by Egyptian nobility. Ancient Egyptians believed strongly in fate as the power of the gods, and this game is tied to Ra, Thoth, and sometimes Osiris, who influenced the luck in the game. This is why it's known as the Game of the Gods. The most well-known and widely played board game across the globe is the game of chess. Though historians are not certain of its origin, many believe it began in India in the 6th or 7th century AD. Regardless of where and when it began, by the 10th century it had become popular in Europe. Games similar to checkers were played in Egypt, Greece, and Rome. During the Age of Enlightenment, chess was viewed as a means of self-improvement. Viking nobles played a game called King's Table that used 8 pieces in some versions and 12 in others to protect the king. Ludo was the first board game developed in Asia around 400 BC. It was a 2-player game in which each player used 6 pieces on a square board. Dice sticks were thrown to determine the moves of the pieces. Games like these remained popular worldwide throughout the ages, and in the 18th century, a man named John Jeffries invented an entirely new board game called A Journey Through Europe. In 1908, American game developer Lizzie Mackey created a board game called The Landlord's Game. The board consisted of a square tract of properties players could use to buy and to levy taxes on anyone else who landed on them. One space in the corner sent players to jail, and another corner earned $200 when passed. Does this game sound familiar? She created the game to help regular people understand the economic concepts of Georgism, which focused on the enrichment of landowners compared to the impoverishment of the tenants. In 1938, she sold the game's patent to Parker Brothers, where it became Monopoly. This game launched Parker Brothers to new heights, allowing them to fund more games like Risk, Sorry, and others. A new era of modern board games stemmed from these games. In 1995, Settlers of Catan ushered in a new golden age of board games. For the past 30 years, board games have become easier to get to the masses, and platforms like Kickstarter have given independent developers a way to fund new games they would not have had the ability to do in other ways. Just a few games you may have heard of that were funded by Kickstarter are Carcassonne, Ticket to Ride, and Gloomhaven. In addition to Kickstarter, the rise of online gaming through Discord, Roll20, Tabletop Simulator, and other platforms have given more people ways to find players to challenge and befriend all over the world. Thanks to these technological improvements, people are able to come together and play games regardless of borders. This is just a very brief history of board games. You can find a lot more information online or in a large collection of books written on this subject. Next week, we'll continue our look at tabletop history. Until then, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.